Hi, friends. I've got a new story for us called Little Red and the Very Hungry Lion. So, what story do you think this is similar to? Little Red and the Very Hungry Lion. I bet that this is a different version of our story, Little Red Riding Hood, that we did at the beginning of the year. So, as we're reading, think about ways that this story is similar to the original Little Red Riding Hood and how it's different. So similar is when we compare it, and contrasting is when we talk about how they're different. Little Red and the Very Hungry Lion. One hot morning, Auntie Rose woke up covered in spots. There was only one thing for them: spot medicine. Ring, 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 ring. Oh dear, said the Little Red when she heard the news. I'll come right away. So Auntie Rosie needed help, and she called Little Red to come help her to get some medicine. So that's already one way that the stories are different, right? In the original version, it was Little Red going to visit her grandmother, and now she's going to help her aunt. All right. So she put some spot medicine in her basket and waved goodbye to her daddy. It was a long way to Auntie Rosie's house. Little Red walked under the giraffes. She walked underneath the giraffes. Good thing they're tall. She walked over the sleepy crocodiles. Look at that. And past the chattering monkeys. I don't remember those animals being in the other version. She crept around the termite mounds and under the leaping gazelles. Then she caught a ride on an elephant. Wiggled her way around the hippos and warthogs and waved hello to the meerkats. I think I skipped a page. Then she sat down in the shade of a shady tree, and that's when the lion arrived, the very hungry lion. Oh, hello, purred the lion. Where are you going? To visit my auntie who's covered in spots, said Little Red. In the time it took for his tummy to rumble, the very hungry lion had cooked up a very naughty plan. And it says, my very clever plan. This is the plan that he's thinking of. Step 1 is to sneak off to Auntie Rosie's house. Step 2 is to hide in her cabinet. Step 3 is to dress up as Auntie Rosie. Step 4 is to wait for a bit. Step 5 is to jump up and eat Little Red. And step 6 is to eat Auntie Rosie for dessert. And then it says, well done, you are a very clever lion. And he rushed off to put his plan into action. When he arrived, the very hungry lion stuffed Auntie Rosie in a cabinet and locked the door. See, there he is with Auntie Rosie. Then he squeezed himself into one of her nightgowns and covered himself all over in spots. Does he look like her, Auntie Rosie? I think I would be able to tell them apart if I were Little Red. Of course, when Little Red arrived, she realized right away that it wasn't Auntie Rosie sitting in the bed. She quickly looked around and spotted her auntie peeking through a gap in the cabinet. Do you see her auntie peeking through the gap in the cabinet? Then Little Red decided that she was going to teach the naughty lion a lesson. Oh, Auntie, what tangled hair you have! And before the very hungry lion could even lick his lips, Little Red had brushed and combed and twisted and braided until the lion had a lovely new look. Look at the lion. That had not been part of the lion's plan. I think he looks very nice with all of his pretty bows. He opened his wide mouth. Look at his teeth and all of the stuff stuck in there. Disgusting, shouted Little Red. What gigantic, grimy teeth you have, Auntie. And Little Red made the very hungry lion brush, brush until his teeth sparkled. Look, he's got his toothbrush with some toothpaste on it. Oh, Auntie, sighed Little Red, what an old nightgown you are wearing. And before the very hungry lion knew it, Little Red had found a much prettier dress for him to wear. That had not been part of the lion's plan either. Stop! Yelled the lion. I am a very hungry lion, and my tummy is grumbling. He looks upset. Little Red pointed her finger. Well, trying to eat children and aunties is very naughty. If you were hungry, all you had to do was ask for some food. The very hungry lion let Auntie Rosie out of the cabinet and said sorry ever so politely. That was very nice that he apologized. Little Red gave Auntie Rosie the spot medicine, which worked immediately. Then the three of them gobbled up a whole basket of donuts together. The lion had 5 donuts. Soon it was beginning to get dark, so the lion walked all the way back home with Little Red on his very best behavior. He promised to never, ever, ever try to eat another auntie or any children. Well, I'm glad they became friends and that he learned his lesson. But he might be tempted to eat Daddy. And she's saying, no, bad kitty. The end. So that was a different version of our story, The Little Red Riding Hood. So something you can do to think about how the stories are similar and how they're different is to create a Venn diagram. And we've done this in class before. You can draw 2 big circles on a piece of paper and make sure that they overlap a little bit to create this little section in the middle. And on my paper, I wrote Little Red Riding Hood for this part. This part is Little Red Riding Hood and the Very Hungry Lion. And this part in the middle is both. So in the middle part, we write how were the stories the same. So I wrote that they both had a little red character. You could also write that the animal wanted to eat Little Red, right? That's another way they're similar. Then on here, I wrote how they're different. What was unique about Little Red Riding Hood and what was unique about Little Red Riding Hood and the Very Hungry Lion. So on this section, I wrote that in the original story, there was a hungry wolf. But in our new version, there was a hungry lion. And there are a lot of other ways that they're different too. You could say in Little Red Riding Hood, the wolf ran away at the end. But in the end, the hungry lion apologized and became their friend. So, if you'd like an extra challenge, you can make your own Venn diagram and fill in the different parts to show how the stories are the same and how they're different.